Hi, this is Loretta, and this time I'm filming a video for Scrapbooking with Me Boutique on Facebook. And what I'm going to be doing is creating a Tussie Mussie. So this is going to serve as a tutorial, and I'm going to try to do this start to finish. So what I've done so far is I've chosen the piece of paper that I would like to be my Tussie Mussie. And I got a plate out of the kitchen, and I have traced a circle on to the paper. I used a distress marker so that you wouldn't be able to see it too much once I cut it out. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece of paper out into a circle, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that my circle is cut out, I want this to be the outside, and I want this to be the inside of my Tussie Mussie. So I'm going to put it together approximately like this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my finger right here, and I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to come right here with a pen, and I'm going to just make a small little dot right there. And where I've got that little pen mark right here, I'm going to go ahead and match that pen mark about to where I had it. Put my finger right here. I'm going to make another dot right there, and then I'm going to run glue all the way from here to where my other dot is. Okay, so in the January kit, I believe, or in the February kit, we got some of these doily type placemats. And I think that what I want to do is use one of these. I love the inside shape of this, and I love how it's embossed, which you can see. So what I've done is I've taken that doily and I've cut out the inside piece. I am going to go ahead and use my distress ink . Okay, so I have my antique linen distress ink right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start very gently going along the surface of this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this distress ink again onto some of this. I might even go ahead and just kind of go over the top of it a little, just the littlest tiniest bit, like this. Right there. And that is the kind of look that I want for my next layering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paint that with some multi-matte medium. and then I'm going to start adhering that. So I've got a couple of eyelets here, and I got this vintage lace, and I want to go ahead and make a handle, and I think this vintage lace is going to do nicely. So I want to put the eyelets on either side. And go ahead and set that eyelet there. And as I said, I'm just, you know, working along. I don't really think. Let's go ahead and set that one. And I'm not too concerned about little dots and so forth, because I really don't think that in the scheme of things that you're really going to be able to tell that. Alright, so now I've got that. And now I'm going to go ahead and thread some in here. And there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a knot to keep it from coming through. And I don't think this is going to get a whole lot of weight on it, so I'm not going to really worry about it that much. And there, I think that works nicely for my Tussie Mussie. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. I've got this little piece of lace, and I would like to put this in the bottom hole of my Tussie Mussie because I would like to hang something from the bottom of my Tussie Mussie, and I'm not exactly sure yet what that's going to be. So we're just kind of going along as we go along. So I'm going to get my matte medium again, and I'm going to very liberally coat the inside of my Tussie Mussie. And I'm going to wrap this little piece of lace around here like so. And I'm going to stick it as far as I can in there before I let it go. There we go. Now I don't know if you can see this, but I do have the inside of the brush there where I want it to go, so I'm just kind of working it. Okay, so as I continue to layer, I've got this really old piece of lace cloth. And I've got this super, super old lace trim. And I want to go ahead and put the lace trim around the top outer edge. So I'm going to go ahead and work with this now. And I think I would like that to go right along there. So I'm going to go ahead and really paint this on super liberally. What I'm going to do next is just kind of dry this off a little bit. And I decided before that lace got good and set that I would like to put a piece of this ephemera down and put the lace over the top of it, because I just kind of like how that looks. And continuing to layer, I have cut another piece out of this doily, as you can see right here. This little piece right here I cut out of the doily and gone ahead and inked it up. And so now I'm going to go ahead and also attach that. Okay, so I've gotten a few other things out of my stash. I've got this beautiful stick pin that Elise sent to me. Thank you, Elise. Yay! And I've got this beautiful seam binding that I bought from the boutique. And I've got some wild orchid craft flowers, which Edith also sells at the boutique. And I've got this really pretty cameo. And I've got some little butterflies, but I can't decide if I want to do those. I also have these wings, which I kind of played around with this idea. Wait a minute, that can't be right. Kind of played around with that idea a little bit. These wings came from the same collection. And I may still yet do that. I do like that idea. At any rate, the first thing I want to do is to tie a bow in this cameo with this seam binding. But the seam binding is just a little bit too new looking to me. So the first thing I'm going to do is really crinkle it up. And then I'm going to get my distress ink. And I'm really going to ink it up here. And it kind of looks like how I want it. Just like that. Very nice. Now then, glue these on with this E6000. And I also need a hot glue gun. Just going to go ahead and get that out and ready. Okay, and then I've decided, I got this out of my stash, and I've decided that that's what I'm going to hang from the bottom of my Tussie Mussie. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put that where it's sticking up right about there. But I'll go ahead and put that in there later. I'm going to glue this on with E6000. But in the meantime, I'm just going to glob some hot glue to just kind of hold it on there until the E6000 dries. Love that. I'm going to go ahead and put these on there. But before I do that, I'm would like to dirty these up just a little. Where it can all stay together. Love this stick pin. And I kind of want that to go, I want it to be like right about there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick it down in there. Just like so. Oh, I'm loving how that's looking so far. Okay, so I've got our nice size jump ring here. Grab right here and let's close. Now then, now I've got that hanging on the bottom of there. And then I got this really pretty, it's getting a little top heavy there. Got this really pretty bling trim here that I'm going to attach. And I do think that I'm going to dirty up these wings and slide those in. And you guys, I think that's it. A little bit better, but you guys can see the finished Tussie Mussie. And I'm going to back out and give you guys one more look. And that's it, start to finish. If you guys have any questions, please leave me a comment or send me a message and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.